Good afternoon. Thank you all for attending today. My name is Joe O'Donnell. I'm the play-by-play broadcaster for the Iowa Wild. Today marks exactly 3 months since the Iowa Wild was officially introduced as a member of the American Hockey League. Since that initial press conference, we've assembled a business operations staff, we've sold over 1,000 season tickets, and we've done our best to ingrain ourselves in the local community. The reception from the greater Des Moines area has been outstanding. From the fans and local businesses to members of the media, everything has been extremely positive. And for that, we say thank you. It's been a very exciting summer so far, to say the least, and today is another one of those milestone moments for our entire organization. With that said, it's my pleasure to introduce Jim Mill, General Manager of the Iowa Wild. Under Mill's guidance, the Minnesota Wild's AHL affiliate has made the Calder Cup playoffs in each of the last 3 seasons, including a Western Conference championship in 2011. Jim?
Thanks, Joe. Geez, Joe, usually you steal all the things I'm going to say, so you did pretty well today. Usually I get up here and Joe's said everything. He's talked about the hire, he's talked about what a great job the coach is going to be and his stats, and so thanks for saving me a few things. First of all, thanks for all of you for being here today. It's another beautiful sunny day in Iowa, and we're just really excited to be here. Today marks obviously something really important because we started with the announcement of our relocation from Houston to this wonderful market here in Des Moines, as Joe said about 3 months ago. Followed that up with hiring a president who we thought at that time and know for sure is the right guy to lead this organization on the business side, and that was Todd Frederickson. Fortunate enough to get him from the American Hockey League. And by every indication, that's been a great success. And as the organization grows and evolves, you'll see what a great success this actually will be under Todd's guidance and leadership. Today, for me, this is an extremely gratifying moment. I played for Kleinendorst 20-some years ago. Not to date us, but it was 1992. And my first pro year, and I got the opportunity and was fortunate enough to play for a great coach and who since has become a great friend. Some of the attributes we look for in our head coach in the American Hockey League is obviously to nurture and develop our players. After all, the Iowa Wild's going to be and is the lifeblood of the Minnesota Wild. So it's all about players developing properly under the proper guidance, playing the same system as the Minnesota Wild plays, and making sure that they're an integral part of this community and they carry themselves in the most professional appearance and conduct themselves properly in the community and integrate into the community. And Kurt is a great example of all those things. He taught me how to be a great pro. He's going to help all these kids and our veterans to be great professionals and assets to not only the Minnesota Wild but to this wonderful community here in Des Moines. So some of the things I wanted to talk about as far as Kurt's accomplishments are, he won a Super League European Elite Championship when he was in Manchester, England. He won a Stanley Cup with the New Jersey Devils in 2003, and he won a Calder Cup in 2011 with the Binghamton Senators. He also coached the development team that won a gold medal in, I believe, 2008 or 9. That was an under-18 team. So he's had a lot of success at every level of professional and amateur hockey. He's a champion, conducts himself so well, and is such a wonderful person. He's going to be great for this community and great for our players. So without further ado, Kurt Kleinendorst, first coach in Iowa Wild history. Yeah, we are. Photo up now. One over here.
There's your hat. I'm holding on to that. Turn her around. All right.
Good.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. Put this down. Thank you, Jim. Well, I got to be honest with you. This has been quite a process for me. Anybody that's gone through a coaching search would understand that for so long this has been all about the Minnesota Wild. You know, it was always going to be eventually, in my mind, a Des Moines destination, but I didn't do a lot of homework on Des Moines because I was so focused on getting the opportunity to stand here today. And when I got the call from Jim a few days ago, obviously I was pretty excited because this was really where I wanted to be. But until I actually got the job, I didn't know a whole heck of a lot about Des Moines. And since that day, I've started to do a little bit of homework, and I got to tell you, I think that this is a little bit of a hidden gem down here because I had no idea what Des Moines was all about. And I'm so excited because I think my expectations probably were a little low, and I'm going to have to raise them because in every sense of the word, there's just a tremendous amount of potential down here. And I think, you know, it's a great marriage, I got to tell you. The Minnesota Wild, for those that aren't familiar, in my opinion, it's one of the premier organizations in the NHL. And when you talk about the way they handle themselves, I think you're going to find that there's no other team, and this isn't a knock on anybody that's here in this city today, but I think you've just seen that the bar is going to get raised. I mean, the Minnesota Wild know how to do things, and that's to be said here with the group that we have in place. So I think everybody is going to be very impressed with, number one, the product that we put on the ice, but I think you're also going to be very impressed with the product that we throw out to the community because this is a brand for us, and we're going to come down here and we're going to represent the Minnesota Wild in every sense of the definition to the Wild of how they want to be represented. And that's going to be professional. It's going to be with a lot of class, and the bonus will be what you get on the ice. And so I'm pretty excited about that. The other thing I wanted to touch on is this process for me has been ongoing. Like Jim said, he was a player for me back in 1992, and it's so hard for me to believe how quickly time goes by. But fortunately for me, you know, Jim and I have stayed in touch, and like Jim said, that we have formed a friendship, we formed a bond. But I think, well, I know that I would not be standing here today on friendship alone. That's not the way it works, and as involved as Jim was in this whole process, I mean, it still had to go through Chuck Fletcher, and he didn't leave any stone unturned. So I'm so thrilled to be here because I know the quality candidates that are out there, and for me to have landed this job, I am so excited. So I'm really looking forward to being part of the community, and when I say that, I mean that. You know, I talked a little earlier about brand, and you're going to find that not just myself, but the players. We're going to be in the community. We're going to be out. We're going to be out in the schools. You know, we're going to be at the malls. I mean, we're going to be here, and we are going to do Des Moines proud. And I think the other part of this is not just in the community, but on the ice, because at the end of the day, obviously that's a big piece of the pie in how we perform and how we play and how we represent the community on the ice as well. So I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, as far as the organizations go, I think one of the positives to all of this is the proximity to Des Moines and to St. Paul. I mean, Minnesota, St. Paul, Minnesota is right up the road, and I think it's going to be so easy for fans of the Minnesota Wild to come down and follow the prospects of the Minnesota Wild, but at the same time, I think the fans of the Des Moines Wild are going to be able to go up and support and follow the Minnesota Wild. I mean, the fact that it's only a 4-hour drive makes this just a great, great situation. So, having said that, I think at this point, we can just open it up for questions, if you have any.
Just go ahead and open it up right now. If anybody has any questions right now, just state your name and what organization you're with, please.
Yeah, Joe Quinn, KXNO Radio. Coach, was wondering, what made you want to get out of the college game and back into the professional ranks?
Well, for anybody that's followed my coaching history, it's been about pro hockey for me. And the Alabama-Huntsville thing was a great experience, but I just knew all along that I wanted to be back into the pro game. And fortunately for me, you know, Jim and Chuck and the Wild have given me this opportunity. But, college hockey is a different beast, to answer your question. It's an absolutely different beast. In pro hockey, it's all about coaching. It's 95% coaching, and it's 5% peripheral, whatever. In college sports today, I mean, there's so much that goes into it, and it's not a bad gig, it's just a different gig. You're recruiting, you're dealing with compliance, you're dealing with scheduling, you're booking the buses and scheduling the hotels and flights, and it just wasn't the same for me. So I knew quickly once I got to Huntsville that I wanted to get back into pro hockey and, talk about landing on my feet.
Tommy Birch from the Des Moines Register. What kind of style of hockey can, I guess, fans expect from you?
Well, first of all, the one objective of my responsibilities here will always be that my group is going to have to be ready for the call. And so the last thing that you want any of your players worrying about when the phone call rings and they get to make that trip up to the Minnesota Wild is worrying about how they forecheck, how they backcheck, how they're going to play in the defensive zone. So from that end of it, we're going to do the best job that we can possibly do to mirror what they're doing up in Minnesota. But having said that, you're going to find an exciting team. You're going to find a team that skates. You're going to find a team that plays with a lot of discipline. You're going to find a team that plays with tremendous structure. You're going to find a team that plays together. Believe me, this group, come season's end, we'll be humming. I mean, it's just all about getting everybody together, getting everybody on the same page, but at the same time, understanding exactly why we're here. It's development. I believe in winning, no question, but the one thing that we have to make certain of is that we develop our players and that they're ready for the call when that call comes.
Anybody else have any other questions? All right, at this time, we're going to go ahead and break down and for one-on-one.